But the review of the documents that we've gone through today, and I appreciate you wouldn't have had those documents when those government announcements were made or had access to them, identifies that the basis on which legislative change was required to introduce the proposal, and I'm talking now about the final version of the executive minute, related to what was described in earlier versions of the executive minute as the calculation of fortnightly income by reference to annual PAYG data, which you may appreciate was the basis on which the announcements were made by the government in 2019 and 2020.
I'm sorry, your question is?
The question is, how did the identification of the problem in the lead up to the final executive minute drop off the radar by the time, it seems, the Executive Review Committee considered the proposal?
The Expenditure Review Committee?
Sorry, the Expenditure Review Committee, yes.
Mr Gregory, I don't know the answer to that question, and I say that in all transparency. The material which has been made available to me is material that I have been through for the purposes of appearing here today. But in terms of that particular matter, I don't know the answer to that. Clearly, there is an expectation, however, that when agencies advise you on the face of a brief that they are working together to address these issues, and that is specific in that paragraph about policy and legislative issues, that the officials are doing that as it says.
In respect of the policy and legislative advice identified in the executive minute necessary to introduce the proposal, whose responsibility is the preparation of that advice at that stage?
In this preparatory
context,
briefs?
Yes.
Yes. My observation would be that they are high-level references. They do not say, for example, you need to amend the Social Security Act, or you need to amend the Income Tax Assessment Act or the Privacy Act, or any of those things. All of those paragraphs that I have reviewed seem to me to say we are working together on this. I only have access at this point to briefs from the Department of Human Services. I have not seen any briefs from the Department of Social Services in preparation for this. I would expect the agencies to work together.
It is a shared responsibility in that respect.
If they are saying to their ministers that this may or will, and I think the language does actually change, require policy or legislative change, then yes, there is a responsibility borne in both departments.
Does that mean that the responsibility is also borne by both ministers?
Essentially, responsibility is always borne by ministers.